got people in places they don't belong. You know what I mean? Y'all are supposed to be in the friend zone. Come on. It says, if one person fails, the other can reach out and help. You got to check and see, is that what's happening? That when you fail, are the people you're considering in your life that care about you, do they reach out and actually help? Or are they watching? Just a question. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. That's the word, y'all. Somebody that falls alone. God is trying to show us companionship is necessary. Friendship is necessary. The bond between two people is necessary. And when you fall alone, you in real trouble. And some of y'all got enough testimony to validate that. Right? When you fall alone, your mind, when you're the only person advising you, you know, that ain't good. You could do some crazy things. You start justifying anything. And so the scripture's real. Watch this. It says here, likewise, two people lying close together can keep each other warm, but how can one be warm alone? And it makes me think about the times that people have been on a plane that end up crashing or end up having to lay out in the cold weather. And y'all, it get cold enough, even somebody you hate, better get over here. Right? What it's saying here now, I'm looking at this in a deeper level because I know the first phase is like, yeah, you know what I mean? I don't want you to think about when it's a rainy day, Netflix and chill. It's not what we're talking about. Right? But I want you to understand the scientific term of the fact that a human body covers heat. It covers energy. And what I want you to focus on, more than just the surface idea of just somebody next to you keep you warm, look at them and say, what kind of energy have you allowed to get close to you? Oh, let me tell you something. We can end up doing irreparable damage on our lives only thinking about circumstances in our circumference physically and not looking at the spiritual consequences of our choices. What energy have you invited into your life and into your space? Because let's be clear, energy is not created or destroyed. That means even when that person physically departs from you, they have left a deposit. You got to ask yourself, is it something that freshened up the place or something you need to get a trash can up and collect? Check it out. Watch this here. It says here, but two can stand back to back and conquer. When two people got each other's back, it says we can stand back to back and conquer. We can fight some things. That means think about this. It's saying that the two of y'all can win. To conquer is the ultimate level of winning. That means when you got two people that care for one another, that have a really spiritual understanding of love, y'all two can conquer anything. And that's two on many levels, not just romantic. But let me tell you something. I've seen some single mothers and their children have to conquer something. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I done seen some brothers who had to raise themselves conquer something. I done seen an uncle and a niece or an aunt and a nephew have to conquer something. Two people for whatever reason. Think about it. We on the college campus. You done seen you and somebody you didn't know before this class started conquer some tests. I don't know what you're doing Friday night, and I ain't going to tell you what I'm doing Friday night, but I know Thursday we study. We going to get together. Let me tell you something. Nothing brings you together like a test. Okay? When I was in the master's program, they actually told us. They said research shows that African Americans are the least likely to connect with people to study. Where other nationalities will quickly study with one another, African Americans, they'll do social stuff together, but when it's time to study, they'll just be solo. And I was like, we need to break this devil right now. Because, you know, this Groundhog Day with statistics is not going to happen. Keep visiting this place because statistics wasn't going to happen. So I started introducing myself to the United Nations, okay? So where are you from? Germany? Nice to meet you. South Korea? Yes, I was like, let's get together. Let's come You know what I'm saying? Everybody that was a minority, I said, we all been oppressed. And even for the white girls that was in, I was like, you too, they've been holding y'all down. Hashtag me too. When it's time to win, you're going to have to, when it's time to conquer something, you can't be on these solo missions. Again, that's that pride thing. That pride thing. Here's the thing. People tell me, I need a job. How many people have you asked about whether they're hiring? About 2 people. You don't want a job. You like talking about wanting a job. You ain't talking to enough people. I'm telling you, you got to ask yourself, have I really been investing time in the things that I claim are important to me? And even that connects to this thing called love. Some of us say we love ourselves, but do you really? Because have you really gone all the way out to make sure that what you need to do to go to your next level in life, have you done it? If you've not checked off, I was going to say, if you haven't checked off your checklist, here's the question. Do you have a checklist? If you don't have a checklist for the things you demand of yourself, you've not taken yourself seriously.
Amen.
It says, but 3 are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. So let me tell you something. That lets you know that when you build bonds with people, you need to build it slowly. That when 2 people decide to be about purpose, that becomes a magnet for other people that are about purpose. Bring me to this next point. Watch this. This applies for those close to you in life. If you cannot call them a friend, the question is, why do you call them at all? I'm talking about when you're going through tough times in life, and you got all of these contacts, all these friends, and you can't be sure that they're a friend, then why are you calling them at all? What I mean by that is, why are you spending energy playing with something that you know is not meant to be a blessing to you? These are just things I want you thinking about as we walk through this love series. You got to be able to really think about it in this context. When Jesus was talking to Nicodemus, or when he was even talking to Mary, his mother, and John, look at them and say, they had to pay attention. Sometimes we're simply not paying enough attention to what's happening in our lives. Sometimes we're so busy answering this, answering that, responding to this, responding to that. When was the last time you actually processed before responding to anything and anyone? Do you realize that we now live in a society where sitting still is abnormal? That's crazy. Because sitting still is the most basic thing you can ever do to show yourself that you value yourself, by not lending yourself to everything that's calling you, or everyone. One of the best ways you can appreciate life is standing and enjoying the moment without having to yield yourself to anyone else. Go to the next, watch this. This is one of my most favorite scriptures of all time. Matthew 7:6. And this, too, lays the foundation for this series. I'll repeat it a few times. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs. Look at me and say, I don't want no more dogs.
No more dogs.
Girls almost started shouting. Neither cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. Let me tell you, this scripture right here is so loaded. Jesus is talking to the people about valuing life. He says, I want y'all to really get this. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs. Holy means set apart. Holy means sacred. That means it's something special. It's something unique. It is something authentic. It is something that is rare. It is something that is valuable. And it says, do not give it to dogs. A dog is when it says they will, a dog is something that cannot appreciate value. But here's the deeper thing. Neither cash ye your pearls before swine. I really want y'all to see this. A pearl is not something easily discovered. It's not easily found. One has to dig deep and long and go through a level of stages to even find one. When the scripture says, do not cast your pearl before swine. So let's first lay this foundation. A pearl is something that's difficult. Each one of you, where you are right now in your life, you did not get there easily. Some of the things, the decisions, and the sacrifices you've had to make, you need to appreciate the sacrifices that you made. And how you show that appreciation is that you can't simply share yourself with just anyone. It says, do not cast your pearl before swine. This is profound. A pearl is something that is extremely expensive, extremely valuable, but a swine lacks the capability to even understand and comprehend that which it has. You have to ask yourself, when we're talking about connections with family, connections with so-called friends, and especially relationships, does this person possess the capacity to comprehend what I have walked through in my life and where I'm going ahead? If they can't comprehend that, what are we doing? And why? Y'all follow what I'm saying? It says here, because this is what's going to happen when you share something that's valuable with something or someone that can't comprehend it. They will trample on it. That's the first thing. Because they don't understand it. Just like kids, you ever don't ever give money to like a 1-year-old. They're ripping it up. Except my journey. My journey understood money from the beginning. The kids older enough was asking for coins. She's like, no, Daddy, I want dollars. I don't even know what that is. The younger kids be picking up where the other ones left off. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes younger kids are a little bit more advanced. They've been watching the older ones. They're like, are they looking for coins? Yeah, we go to the grocery store and they'll be putting little stuff in the machine, get little balls that don't work the next day. But that dollar, she's like, that's what I want, Daddy. You're looking too advanced, right? What I'm saying to you is, a swine will just step on it because they don't understand the value. But that's not the only thing that's going to happen. When you share valuable things with people who can't appreciate what they have. You ever have somebody come over, they don't understand the value of what you do. Like, you buy furniture? Okay? All that plotting down, throwing your book bag on it. Hold up. Sitting on the leather, got a pen in your pocket. Don't poke the leather. Oh, come on now. Come on. Let me tell you something. I'm saying, you know when you're dealing with somebody who don't understand the value of what they got. Like, you know there's certain gifts you can't get from people. Certain sweaters, they don't snag that action. Look, I can't get them that. So what I'm saying to you is, not only will they trample on it, but here's the crazy part for me. They will turn again. Rend you means to tear you apart. That lets you know that if you give something to someone who does not appreciate it, they're not only going to trample on it once, but they're going to return and completely destroy that thing. Are y'all hearing me today? This is why when I laid the foundation about love, be careful with where you decide and who you decide to love and share loving friendships and relationships with. You need to understand. I remember back in the day, old school used to say, before you start dating people, you need to meet the family so you can see what you're working with. But you young, like, whatever. Homegirl looks good. That's all the family I need. See, fellas got in there, don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Then you find out that this stuff normal to them, that ain't normal to you. You know what I'm saying? Like me, my family, we were big about respect. There's certain things you don't do, right? Let me give y'all a little just basic one-on-one in a couple situations like that. never call your significant other out in public. Can we just say that? I'm talking about on any level. Because what you think is funny is going to turn into a beef. You know what I mean? Like something as simple as y'all go somewhere and y'all, let's say y'all dressed up nice and you say something like, I don't know why he wore them shoes, child. And you need to know, when you disrespect people in public, everything is in slow motion. You think it was just a quick moment. But this is what you experience it. I don't know why they wore them. And it's gone. But this is what happens in their world.
Yeah.
Like, everything is slow motion. Everybody pointing at it. Like a 360 on it. Their whole world blown up. So what happens is later on, you say, yeah, why you call me out? Then, this is what makes you mad about people who do stuff like that. What you talking about? Yeah. The fact that your voice went up a couple notches, you know what I'm talking about. Come on. No, don't give Mickey Mouse now.
Forget about it.
What? You just don't do that. You don't disrespect people. You understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm trying to lay some foundation for friendship, even family relationships and relationships. There has to be a mutual respect. There has to be a mutual understanding. You got to get to know a person. This whole pearl and swine thing is, you got to make sure you're dealing with somebody that knows the stock you come from and how to deal with that stock. Y'all follow what I'm saying? But you can't represent and teach them that stock if you don't know yourself. Because one problem that we got is people ain't loving themselves enough to find a loving relationship. Y'all hear what I'm saying? The reality is, we can get mad at the swine, but here's the thing. We all know a swine don't understand what a pearl is. So are we surprised when a pig steps on jewelry? What do you thought they was going to do? Put it on, you know what I mean? What was they going to do? Now I ask you this. If you know certain people in your life don't appreciate things, don't know how to value friendship, then you can't be shocked when they show you what you already knew. Can I help somebody? Let me tell you something. I got a cousin that I love. But trouble finds him because he texts trouble and says, come here. People are like, trouble finds me. No. You hit out, no, you sent an email to trouble. Okay? And they came to you like this cousin. So for me, when I make the choice to meet him somewhere, late at night, I know the risk that I'm taking. We live in a world today where at any given point in time, cops can pull up. Like I may have told y'all this too. When I go certain places to see certain family and they want to get in my car, we have to have a discussion before that happens. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, you need to know. Because when we get pulled over and you holding, I don't need there to be no confusion. Come on now. Now back in the day, I didn't care whatever. I got children, right? I got kids waiting to see me tomorrow. Can't be locked up with you, you know what I'm saying? Locked up. That devil's a liar. So the reality is, so when they be like, yo, listen, hang on, I'm like, hold up. Okay? And I have to be like, arms, see what they working with on some TSA action. Because I don't need no surprises. And I get real open. Don't come in. What you got in your pockets? And then this how you know you did the right thing. Come on, cuz. I'll see you there. You gonna make me walk? I'm not making you walk. What's in your pocket's making you walk. I'm out. What I'm saying to you is, because here's the thing, that particular cousin doesn't process. Like him getting picked up, locked up, he do that. You know what I'm saying? He don't have the same value I have of being free. You know, he's like, they take me in, man. I do my bid. No, that's not where I'm at. Because he don't, y'all feel what I'm saying? That's an extreme example, but I'm saying to you, you got to ask yourself, the people, come on, I'm talking to college students. Most of you. And some talking about, man, I ain't studying for that test. Okay. So you're in that 8-year plan. Come on now. They trying to go to school with your kids. So I'm like, no. So what I'm saying is you gotta ask yourself the value. Even for my folks that are not in college anymore, when you get a certain age, you can't do certain crazy stuff. You gotta act like you got some sense. You know what I mean? People trying to recapture their youth, it's gone. They don't mean to have fun, because Lord knows I'd love to, right? But I'm saying, ain't no acting like I'm 20-something, that's dead, okay? So, but here's the reality is, but some people don't value, okay, we got to start thinking about saving, investing, and possibly not having to work for somebody else for the next 10 or 20 years. That's the conversation we have. That's what gets me excited. You know what I'm saying? What gets me excited in your 20s is different than 40. 20s are, we got to get lit, every day we lit, right? 40-year-olds? Yo, they telling us about some bonds and some money in trust funds. Every day we lit. That's what get us lit. Saving money? Oh, dear. Let me tell you something. That's how you know you're talking to a mature 40-year-old. You talk about saving money, they get excited. Like, I done figured out we got some coupons. Oh my God. Right? They're like, I done went to group bonds. But guess what? But all of what I'm discussing is based upon understanding the value of where you are in your life. You follow what I'm saying? Even for this romantic season that you're in. Right? If you're looking for a relationship and you know old boy or old girl is just looking to swipe to the right. Right? This world is not the same. Being single requires a college degree. You need to study. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of, first of all, social media. You know what's crazy? Look at this, do your research. Whoever knew saying your last name was so important. What's their name? Keisha. Keisha what? Because as soon as you get...
Facebook.
Come on now! Oh no!
I was looking at you. I was looking at you too.
Everybody's FBI now. Facebook, Instagram, who are you tweeting? You got pictures now? I mean, it's everything. I'm like, oh my God. You're looking at, and let me tell you something. Some people reveal a lot, some people reveal very little. Then you gotta say, but is this really them? Is it them or representative? Right. Y'all know what I'm talking. Then you looking at the pictures and stuff. What was going on with the bitches?
Right.
They're getting super creative with the bitches. And what does that mean? Why are we all the way up in here?
They have thought it's behavior. They have thought it's behavior. Do they have thought it's behavior?
I'm trying to help somebody. Because I need somebody to help me. Having common, it doesn't matter where technology goes, it will never trump simple, basic communication. Don't get it twisted. You don't know what people value until you listen to them. You know what I'm saying? Talk to them until you listen to them. Watch this. I'll ask. And watch this, y'all. Y'all know how I usually do 4 points? Yeah. I got 5. So point number 4. The relationships we choose are based on our level of self-esteem. So what does your current relationship tell you about you? Somebody said to me, and I can't take credit for this. I was telling somebody yesterday, they said, because they said it differently. They said to me, the relationship you choose, and then they drop this, and the job you choose is based upon your level of self-esteem. So ask yourself, what have you just told yourself about you? and how you feel about your value. Oh my God, mess me up. Okay? Y'all feel what I'm saying to you? You gotta ask yourself, what have I shown? What have I said to myself by the things that I've allowed to be in my radius, to be in my area, to be in my life? What have I just told myself? Because let me tell you something. You actually tell yourself something about who you send through the door as an exit or who comes through the door as they enter. Both of them are a statement. My fifth one. All right, point 5. Here we go. If you keep sharing yourself with people who do not comprehend the value of who you are, chances are you do not comprehend your value either. Yourself. You know about yourself, you're either yourself. Oh, love. You couldn't see it. You know how you read something trying to make it deep like that? Yourself. Get it? Love yourself before you love anyone else. Sometimes we get mad because they don't understand the value I am. Well, do you? That's the first question. Because if you don't, why should anybody else be required? And I mean that in every area of your life. For instance, if you know, don't get mad at your job because they don't pay you. Make plans to leave. Tell yourself that you deserve more and make plans to leave. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Because you will find an employer that values you to the level that you value yourself. Y'all hear me? Same with friendships. You will find friends that value you the way that you value yourself. And relationships for sure. You gotta value. And mind you, when I say these things, I'm not speaking out of conceit and self-centeredness. Conceit and self-centeredness is born in a place called low self-esteem. Because when you have to put down others and you have to pump yourself up and all of that, then you really ain't that confident. People who are confident in who they are can enjoy somebody else's glory because they know they got their own. And so what I'm saying to you, when I say love yourself, I'm not talking about self-serving stuff. I'm talking about the simplicity of saying, I'm a child of God. God has brought me through a great and mighty way. I have my own testimony. And I know that God has greater things for me in life, that I'm not in competition with anyone. Because nobody can beat me being me. And so to have that clarity and understanding and move forward, that develops love for yourself. And you don't mind loving on other people or celebrating other people because they're doing exactly what you should be doing, and that is loving yourself. You realize the more you love yourself, the more you can love everybody else because you're no longer intimidated. People who can only feel better when they're putting down someone else or making someone else feel less than them do not love themselves. Sometimes the greatest evidence that a person does not have love is by the way they keep hating on you. So just focus on making sure before you start pointing fingers on who ain't valuing you, who ain't appreciating you. Don't get mad because somebody is also feeling at what you also are feeling and doing. Everybody stand to your feet.